I still think it would have been hilarious, but okay. To be honest, I really feel that on Infernal Shrines, it's going to be very much a lot more of the same. Sonya is going to be highly prioritized. I think they're going to play Medivh if Medivh is not going to be banned out. And I think there's also a very high chance that we once again... I really think that even Garrosh is going to make an appearance, even though if you are on the Shrines, he usually doesn't get as much value.
Yeah.
But I think the way that they are playing him right now, also them using Warlord's Challenge in that setup, is something that they would probably still try and rely on.
The taunt has been pretty important for a lot of teams. If anyone were to bring out that Garrosh, I think, on this battleground, I think it would be Zealots. Being able to force the issue, especially if they're able to get their Medivh as well. A Medivh follow-up into a Punisher, jumping on a target is pretty deadly.
Yeah, exactly. So, when it comes to the bans, I'm a bit curious to see how Zealots are going to design that. Now, they actually take a lot of time for that first ban here. And they ban Garrosh out even. Okay,
Wow.
so I guess we're not going to see him here playing around that Medivh, Maiev ban that we now see on the side of Diamond Skin. So Maiev banned out in every single game thus far.
Now I'm kind of curious. I want to see that Garrosh played more often on Infernal Shrines. I want to see how he's utilized, but we're not going to get that today.
Yeah.
Maya banned out. Sonya first pick. So Sonya, she seems to be back.
Oh, definitely. And especially from Zarmany. So Sonya immediately picked. That's now the third time in the third game that we see her. We have Genji and Malfurion, both of them already, of course, great as a duo, but again, Malfurion against the potential Medivh pick as well. You would already pick Malfurion, but that adds even more value to the pick itself. So in this case, we're having them with a very nice setup here for themselves. Could have gone into a Tracer, I suppose, but opting in for Genji instead.
Yeah. I was thinking even maybe the Abathur could have came out there, but it seems like Malfurion continuing to be one of our top tiers. I think a lot of pros right now are saying Malfurion and Stukov are the two that you go for, and they fit into pretty much a lot of compositions based on how you play.
Yeah. Also, when we're talking about the potential swap between Genji and Tracer, the one thing to keep in mind is that especially the Zealots are very heavy on the Medivh play, and we can already expect that here to at least be an option for them. If you got Tracer in the setup, then the Pulse Bomb is oftentimes going to be negated by Medivh. So in this case, they're going for, again, Genji, and Rosmek has shown on Volskaya already how strong he is with that, as he said. So if he gets another setup like this, that would just be insane for him.
Another tank that is strong on this battleground, Diablo coming out to play.
Admiral Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
I can't make that accent, but I'm still trying.
Yes, Shad back on Stukov, which is a trait. He is the one that showed him off during the Western Clash. It pretty much brought him to play for a lot of our teams the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and of course, like the joke with Stukov, Admiral Gonzalez, it's Admiral Stukov, and Shad's last name is Gonzalez. I can't pronounce it. Again, I actually tried to write it on Reddit at some point when we were talking about the nickname, where the origin is. I got immediately called out because apparently I misspelled it. So my apologies on that regard. But yeah, Shad is a monster on the hero. The guy is an absolute beast, and he showed it at the Western Clash. It's one of the reasons why he's currently absolutely trademarking that hero. With Medivh banned out, that was, I think, to be expected. If you don't pick Medivh in the first two rotations for the Zealots coming from a first pick position, you had to expect that Medivh gets banned out against you. They prioritize Diablo and Stukov higher, especially with Diablo taken. You don't want Medivh to linger around. So with that being done, we have the immediate pickup on Leoric and Tychus. Odin, another fantastic tool to grab the remainder of the objective if you have already taken the lead and maybe gotten around 20 of those minions.
Leo and Tychus, though, should be helpful against the Diablo, which should be holding that front line. Trying to get rid of him and get him out of your face is probably one of your best priorities that you can try to pull off in a draft if you ever are dealing with a Diablo. If he is free to be in your back line, he will be a menace. So Diamond Skin intends to deal with that. But this is also something that we see from Diamond Skin a lot. In Phase 1, Part 1, we got a lot of Tychus. They love that Odin around the Shrine phase. Any type of those Transformers that you get in, the Alexstrasza's, Odin, Ragnaros, it's pretty popular on this battleground. I'm
a little bit curious to see what exactly Zealots are going to go for now. Because when we talk about ADRD, we've seen a lot of his Tassadar play. We've seen Chromie, so he has shown some of that. And now that his Medivh is taken away from him, I'm curious to see what exactly is going to be his hero in the setup.
Return of Probius. Let's do it. Greymane and Abathur. How did we forget about Abathur?
Didn't really forget about it, I just didn't think they would go for him here.
Well,
but with Sonya it works, ETC now on the other side, okay.
With Greymane, Sonya, good targets. ETC the final pickup here for Diamond Skin, looking to force those fights. Robodoba loves ZTC as well.
Yeah, and it's... Every single time I see a setup with Diablo and Abathur, I have to think about the series that we saw at the Western Clash between Fnatic and Dignitas, where only Breeze was standing and still had the Abathur head, and there were 5 heroes on Dignitas' side trying to take him down, and he killed 2, and then Dignitas said, okay, let's back off here because he's just going to get another kill.
I thought it was Timbo Storm.
Oh, it was Timbo Storm, you're absolutely right.
It was Timbo Storm, because I remember directly looking at Fan's face, and he was like he just freaked out the moment he lost his
you're absolutely
Tracer.
right. I talked to Kala in the evening, and he said, he literally told me, at this point, we just realized we're just going to back off here. We're not going to allow him to get another kill. This kid is just too dangerous on the hero. With Abathur as well on top of him, this is just not happening.
Yeah.
So let's just make sure that we play the macro game here, because there's no way we're going to take him out. And if you have a Diablo with full souls and an Abathur on top of that as well, it's going to get nasty.
Especially paired with that level 13, that level 16.
Oh, yeah.
Completely destructive. And that can be said here as well against a Genji. Usually those mobile characters do not like Diablo coming in there and shutting them down. Let's go ahead and go to game number 3. We are all tied up here 1-1. Zealots facing off against Diamond Skin.
And the Zealots to the left side of the map with Zarmany again on Sonya. We have Shat on Stukov, Chris on Greymane, ADRD of course on Abathur, likely to go into the shield build, and Mopsy. Ooh, Mopsy on Diablo, and ADRD mixing his build up.
Yeah, switching here into the level 1, picking up the pressurized glands. But let's go ahead and look at Diamond Skin here on the right. Robodoba playing ETC, Darkmok on Tychus, Ross Meg on Genji, Nande on the Yorick, and Wolf Joe playing Malfurion.
Now, the interesting thing about Abathur and how his builds developed, at least in the European scene, way back when we had a focus on Locusts, and at that point, Blizzard just started nerfing the build just because it just put out too much lane pressure, and it really allowed you in the late game to completely dictate the macro game. But what became incredibly powerful was the symbiote build that we're seeing started here by ADRD, because we had a heavy focus on melee assassins, Sonya, Illidan. There was a lot of heroes that just benefited a lot from having the symbiote on top of their head, and then after you hit level 13 you get Soma Transference. On level 16 you get the added slow, which helped Muradin, for example, as well to continuously proc his level 7. And that was really one of those things where Abathur players, at least in the European scene, had a heavy focus on that. And we already see it helping out with the first kill in the game. But the point I want to make is that late the shift, Zarmany in trouble, is actually going down, kill for kill. Oh, and Genji falls. Really bloodbath in the early game. But yeah, lately we have seen a massive shift towards the shield build, the Carapace build on Abathur, to an extent where a lot of players in HGC have said that they get tilted when an Abathur player in Hero League doesn't go for the prevalent build because it's so powerful. But here ADRD already putting the focus back on the symbiote, so that's going to emphasize the synergy that he has with Diablo and with Zarmany and also with Greymane. So 3 great targets for him for symbiotes.
I mean, if anyone's going to change the normal build coming into HGC, you're going to look towards ADRD.
Yeah, definitely true. I mean, it's not the freakiest build, but it's interesting to see that after we've seen such a huge focus on the Carapace build in Part 1, Phase 1, and also at the Western Clash, we're now seeing a slight tendency back to the Carapace build.
Well, so far, with the soaking in a couple of kills, they'll take a slight lead in experience, and this will allow for them to grab the mercenary camps to the south. Diamond Skin comes in, sets up for defense as well, and gets 4 themselves. But with a shrine popping up pretty darn soon, Zealots and Diamond Skin will be fighting over it. But hang on, Giddy has to be careful here. He hit with a root, wanting to probably Swiss strike away, but Mopsio was threatening in engage.
I mean, we saw already earlier when the kill against ETC happened how exactly the synergy unfolded between Diablo and Shat on Stukov.
Yeah.
The first thing that really happens is that Mopsio tries to slam a target into a wall, and once you get that stun in, that's where the immediate silence follows. And it's so incredibly difficult to get away from that. So this is the combo that they're going to try and look for throughout the entire game. And it's even going to increase, of course, once that Diablo hits his domination talent on level 16, which gives him the reset so that he can go for the second charge. But that's definitely something that we have to watch out for with this setup. I also want to quickly point out that we have Nande with a slight adjustment here on this level 1 for Leoric going into Austin's Renewal. This is something that we have seen at the Eastern Clash a lot. The Asian teams really like to play through the talents. Another kill, again highlighted by Stukov. And yeah, the silences that we see from him from the Admiral are just absolutely on point.
How do you stop Rosmag from getting resets? You kill him over and over. Another kill comes in for Genji. Slammed against the wall into a silence, and Genji really has no options out of that. A Malfurion route maybe to try and prevent the targets from chasing him as he tries to escape, but other than that, Genji just has to be more careful.
Yeah, and indeed, like, it's a very explosive game. We have 4 kills already. And I feel a bit bad because I'm trying to talk about these builds and these slight adjustments because I think they're insanely interesting, and it shows how the Western and the Eastern Clash have slightly shifted the meta, but at the same time we have these explosive kills all over the place, where the Zealots so far got 3 against the 1 the Diamond Skin picked up earlier at the top lane.
Well, explosive is the right word there. I mean, Diablo goes in, gets someone against the wall, and they're dead. Like, that's it. Like, there's not much of a wind-up for happening there unless you see a target get out of position. So they continue to bring in these kills and they'll have the option to do more here. Now, this is actually a bit of a common tactic that you're seeing a lot in Infernal Shrines. You move to the right wall here and try to break it down pretty quickly. Zealots actually just go for the gate straight in the middle as it was already low, but we have Mopsio in a spot here where he can go in for an aggressive push once the Punisher jumps again if Diamond Skin cannot burn it down in time. Yeah,
this is a fantastic spot for Zealots, and the bigger they are was used already by Diamond Skin. Tychus is the one who has the duty of always trying to take Mopsio down as fast as he can. The biggest problem that he faces is really that just one single health globe is going to help Diablo to easily get his hit points back up to par, and that's going to be rough for them for sure. Now, one of the things that's also interesting with the build that we see on Abathur is that we have still the prolific dispersal on level 4, so still going for those toxic nests. But look at this, once again, a setup attempt. CC chain on the side of Diamond Skin, and it leads to a kill against Greymane. A nice power slide by Robodoba, and then Wolf Joe is immediately there with the roots.
Impressive they actually get that kill, because a lot of the frontline pressure was actually put on Mopsio on the top left, and he had to go for the retreat. But Chris following there was set up mostly by Robodoba going in with that ETC power slide.
Yeah, and it's actually really interesting to see all of this because we've talked a lot about the Zealots and how they can really get these kills, with Diablo initiating them, Stukov following it up, and then damage coming into play. But if you look on the side of Diamond Skin, there's also a lot of kill potential, especially with the CC chain that they have, that can threaten nearly everyone on the side of Zealots. Even Diablo, if he gets CC'd and then Tychus is able to get the entire damage out, it's going to be pretty difficult to keep him alive in the late game.
Especially with Leora coming in with that Entomb into the Drain Hole.
Yeah.
Definitely a possibility, so we'll be looking at Diamond Skin at level 10 to be able to get that fight happening. And especially, even if they don't kill Diablo, if they at least get him low and then transition into an Odin and force a fight, that's where Diamond Skin can start to win these team fights. Because so far, they haven't been as lucky. A couple of kills coming their way, and behind an experience has definitely hurt them, but they're about to hit level 10.
And what Diamond Skin does really well is trying to control mercenary camps. They have heavily and aggressively invaded the camps on the Zealot side, and they have taken, they've put on the lane pressure. The problem for Diamond Skin, or one of the problems, is that this early game is usually where you expect an Abathur composition to struggle a bit more when it comes to rotational play alone. And so far, Zealots are the ones taking the kills here and really putting the screws on. So now with level 10, they also have the copy available. And there are so many great targets right now for AD-RD in any given situation. Diamond Skin with a bit of hesitation on Leoric here, switching between March and of course Entomb that he could use in these setups. It depends all on how they want to play this, but especially with now Malfurion, also with the Twilight Dream. Keep in mind, we have seen a bit of tranquility in the Eastern scene at least. I would still say a good Entomb at a good point and Silence to follow it up can do wonders here.
I feel like you could run March of the Black King if you're wanting to be really annoying and just keep Leo in the back a little bit longer and buy time for the Drain Hoe, but I feel like Entomb is the way to go.
You could play March here, especially since the objective itself is focused on a single point on the map. If you have these 5 versus 5 situations and you play aggressively with with Leoric, then you can always go for a March and try to make sure that you survive a bit longer and that you also get the damage in. So there's a lot of arguments to be made for March as well. Entomb would be more the isolation use if you're trying to maybe catch Greymane, maybe catch Stukov here.
Well, so let's start the Shrine Point. They go up here 8-1, but Diamond Skin comes over to start fighting.
I would actually... Entomb is being taken. Now the problem of course with Entomb is that the quick silence on the side of Stukov can do wonders. And Stukov already with a massive shove, and Diablo literally ends up at the other side of the map. But here comes the kill against ETC as we see Mopsio going in with the Apocalypse. The Mosh Pit not doing anything here for Diamond Skin. And now Nanda is finally back in the fight, but he gets immediately stunned out. And the kill against Leoric follows suit.
And we have a double Diablo, by the way, as ADRD drops down the Ultimate Revolution, grabbing the Diablo for the extra engage. 2 members down. Gotta call out Mopsio, though, in that fight. Hang on here. ADRD goes in for an engage. Another bop here as well as Darkmok gets put against the wall, able to just barely escape. But the Shrine goes over to Zealots. But Mopsio, reading that Mosh Pit engage, able to land that Apocalypse early to make sure that the Mosh Pit got 0 value.
And Nanda is dead again here, so he died now for the 2nd time in this fight. 6 kills against 2. And there's so many things. You talked about the copy on Diablo, but look at this setup. They can literally copy anyone, and they will get massive value out of this. Even Stukov for the 2nd silence would be insane here. So now level 13 Talons are in. They just got another kill against ETC. And let's talk about Stukov for a second. Let's talk about Shad. That shove that he got against Leoric literally catapulted Leoric towards the other end of the map. So it turned into a 5 versus 4. Counter kill against Diablo now. And the kills just keep coming. Tychus is now also down 8 kills against 3. And this is just a massive massacre that we are seeing on Infernal Shrines.
Very similar to what we saw in game number 2. The moment Zealots find their stride, they start to beat down Diamond Skin. And that is getting replicated here. 8-3 in kills, 14-12.5. Diamond Skin finally weathers the storm, but it was definitely an onslaught coming their way. They're going to wait for Tychus to come back, but look at this initial fight. Nande comes in, gets the Entombment's army.
The shove just all the way back down, and here comes now the Mosh Pit, but immediately the Apocalypse, and this is fantastic play by Mopsio. The kill against ETC, Leoric isn't there, trying to make his way back. Zarmany survives long enough, and this just before we see Abathur going for the copy, and now all of a sudden, you have a double Diablo going straight for Leoric. He has no chance of survival. And especially Zarmany, of course, with the freedom that he has created by the double Diablo frontline, he can just body them, moving in whenever it pleases him and just smash them into the ground.
Yeah, he just kept an eye on the Genji there, made sure Rossman couldn't get in a spot to even get those resets, trying to keep him at bay by using Deflect whenever a Nation Spear came in. And now Zealots, about to hit level 16, find themselves in a very similar situation we saw in game number 2. Almost a 3-level lead going into the next Shrine phase.
Yeah, Zealots definitely used game 1 as a bit of a wake-up call. It was rough going for them, and Diamond Skin dominated the team fights on Volskaya. But after this first map loss, Zealots just simply said, boys, this isn't it. We can do better than that. We've proven it. We showed it at the Western Clash. We came in 2nd, and we brought Dignitas to the last map, to the brink, to the limit. We need to do better if we want to go to the mid-season brawl against Diamond Skin, who are currently all the way at the bottom of the standings. So right now, they're doing exactly that. 3-level lead, level 16 talent advantage, and they go for another kill here. They go once more for Genji, and they take Rossquid down.
And looking for maybe a Nande as well. Chris chasing, get a little bit of auto attacks, and Tomb comes out, but a whiff. Right now, you look at Diamond Skin, it feels like they're on clean-up duty, having to clear Mercs in the bottom, in the middle, trying to deal with these deaths that constantly keep striding on in. And Zealots happily take a 4 and get a 4-level lead, now 3 levels as 14 just hits for Diamond Skin. But for a brief period, 4-level lead.
Zealots are currently playing the Infernal Shrines Janitors. They're just cleaning up all the dirt, taking the forts out, taking the walls down, trying to take the camps away. And they are pushing already the envelope here in the mid lane. As you said, they've basically taken it all. The map is blue. They've taken every single camp except for their own towards the top left. They can take it around the time that the next shrine is spawning, so that they take the pressure away, or to put more pressure onto the top lane so that Diamond Skin can't fully focus onto the shrine itself. And it's exactly what's happening. Shrine gets announced, Sonya's on the way up top. Gets help from Abathur, and they can now time this perfectly to put the pressure onto the top lane as they themselves try and focus onto the shrine. And they have everything going for them.
Yep.
They have the top lane pressure, they have a 3-level lead, the stat advantage alone is fantastic, and they have the level 16 talent advantage.
Everything going for them plus Abathur. That's the worst part too, is typically if you're pretty far ahead, you can go for a bit of a gank on the side if someone's trying to soak a lane, trying to stay ahead in the lead. But with Abathur, Zealots can do that from a safe point of view, and they do so. And now another shrine pops up, and this is an Arcane Punisher.
And Shed also just delaying the approach of Diamond Skin even further with another good lurking arm. And they are starting to move in again. Double Stukov this time. Double silence, double the fun. Leoric already starting to move away. Odin popped in the backline. Top lane pushing, but so far not a threat to the keep of Diamond Skin as we see the red team engage. And AD already losing the copy.
Drops the clone to make sure that Rossman can't chase too far here, trying to waste that Dragon Blade, but Odin shelling away from afar, 26-13. Entomb comes out. Robodoba slammed against the wall, getting low on health. He can't do anything. Mopsio shuts him down. A Massive Silence comes out, but Zealots, they're feeling pretty nice here as Rossman goes in and they survive it.
Darkmorg, on the other hand, he might not, and he goes down as ETC falls. We see the second kill coming in. Wolfjo also low, and Chris is already on the prowl, takes him down as Greymane goes for the throat, eliminates him here. Nande is dead as well as Diamond Skin gets played to the wall here. 13 kills against 3. The Zealots are on a tear.
Diamond Skin, knowing this, put that all on the Shrine phase there, hoping they can maybe get a kill or two and take away the Shrine from their opponents. Because right now, they're dealing with a Night Campus pushing in the top lane, they're dealing with a 4-man push in the bottom lane, a Zealot coming in, and a Punisher to back it up. 19-15 in experience, Zealots are coming in for the kill move.
And at that point, it's really Zealots just waiting for Robodoba to make the engage with ETC. And every single time he goes for the crucial slide, Mopsio pops Apocalypse, and then they focus on him. And once again, none in trouble. Shop comes out against Robodoba. Punisher is already baited into the middle, but the rest of the Zealots is on the way to the core. 20 just around the corner for them. They want it. They want the storm down. They want to end the game right here as they move in. Nande is low, and he's gonna fall here if they focus him. They let him live for now as they focus on the core. We have already Mopsio on the side of Wolfjo. Greymane is down, but the Punisher is focusing on ending the game.
And so is Sonya. Full health there. Takes down the core. A 4-level lead to boot. 20-16. Zealots take a lead in the series as they go up 2-1. An absolute dominant fashion. A very similar story to what we saw in game number 2. A couple of kills trickle in. They hit post 10, and they're able to just team fight that much better than their opponents.
Yeah, it was extremely well done by them. So once again, Zealots with really nice play here on their part. And an exceptionally dominant performance here in game number 2 and game number 3, really taking the wind out of the sails of their opponent.
Yeah, Diamond Skin seems a little bit lost right now. Even getting a drafted composition that we've seen them pull off on Inferno Shrines pretty often. The only thing we're maybe missing is that Junkrat that we usually get from Darkmok instead. But things not looking too good for Diamond Skin. Zealots, however, looking great. That momentum that we were doubting in game number 1 seems to still be here. And now they're on a course where, since their big beat against Dignitas, is Zealots here to stay in the top tiers of the teams here in HGC.
I think it's still very tricky to judge from the series against Diamond Skin, since Diamond Skin has been struggling so much in part 1 of phase 1. But they look very good. And if you gain anything from the performance at the Western Clash, it has to be that momentum. I mean, it must feel really good to go into the tournament in the first place and then perform on such a high level. And they've already said, we want to go to the mid-season brawl. That's the goal now. Europe has claimed that extra slot for the tournament, and at this point, of course, everybody is fighting for it. Team Liquid has announced several times, we want to be the team that goes to the mid-season brawl. We have Fnatic, we have Dignitas, we have the Zealots, and we also have to ask ourselves, how is Method going to do? They had a very rough Western Clash, and they didn't look good at all, being dropped immediately, losing to North America twice, which every European team wanted to avoid in the first place, and they were not happy with their own performance. So the question is, was that just them having a really, really rough event? Can they make their way back into it?
Yeah.
And they had chances. They still have chances to go to the mid-season brawl as well. So we are so stacked in Europe at this point that it's difficult to say. I say Zealots look good today, but they also were supposed to since they came in as the favorite.
Yeah, we still have eyes on other teams. Trick Esports still circling around that discussion as well. So, I don't know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and talk about the discussions that's currently happening on Twitter, though. We have a few tweets.